Good day, everyone. I am Johnson Kirkby Corapao, and I'll be introducing you to the topic of Handout 4, which is all about chemical reactions. In this topic, we have these certain learning objectives, which are to explain the concept of molecular and formula mass, demonstrate the procedure on how to balance a chemical equation, given formulas or names of elements or compounds involved, discuss the different types of reactions in predicting its product, solve problems which involves determining the amount of reactants and products, define the concepts of limiting reactants and reaction yields, and solve for the problems which involves limiting reactants and reaction yield. In this topic, we have these certain content outlines, which are the chemical equation, enclosing, balancing chemical equations. Number 2, predicting the products of chemical reactions, enclosing, combination reactions, decomposition reactions, single substitution reactions, double substitution reactions, and combustion reactions. And finally, we have stoichiometry, enclosing the amounts of reactants and products, limiting reactants, and theoretical yield and percent yield. Before we dive in deeper, we must first know what is a chemical reaction. Chemical reactions is the process by which the atoms of one or more substances are rearranged to form different substances is called chemical reaction. A chemical reaction is another name for chemical change. So, therefore, a change in the chemical structure of a substance is called chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, there is a chemical equation. In a chemical reaction, the substances that reacts are called reactants or sometimes reagents. The substances that are produced are called the products. We use these formulas to represent the substances involved in a reaction when we write a chemical reaction. In an equation, the formulas for reactants are placed on the left side of the arrow, and those for the products are placed on the right side. Either substance may be written first on each side of the equation. A balanced equation shows the relative numbers of atoms of each of the elements involved. An equation must have an equal numbers of atoms of each element on each side. What are coefficients? Coefficients are numbers that are written before the formulas. It tells the relative number of formula units of reactants and products involved in a reaction and balance the number of atoms of each element involved. The coefficients in a balanced equation give the ratio of moles of each substance in the reaction to moles of any other substance. They also give the ratio of formula units of each substance to formula units of any other substance. As we can see here in the example, number 3 is the coefficient because it is placed before the element or the equation. Note that there are 7 elements that occur as diatomic molecules, meaning they are molecules with 2 atoms when they are not combined with any other elements. These are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, iodine, bromine, and chlorine, and should be written as H2, O2, N2, F2, I2, Br2, and Cl2. Balancing equations. The first step in writing a complete and balanced equation for our chemical reaction is to write correct formulas for the reactants and the products. When we use coefficients to change the numbers of formula units, to get the same number of atoms of each element on the two sides of the equation. Here in example 4.1, balance the equation for the reaction of barium hydroxide and hydrobromic acid to give barium bromide and water. The solution is to first write the correct formula for the reactants and the products. Evaluate the chemical equation and place a 1 before the most complicated formula. Next is to balance the barium on the reactant side, so we must put a 1 on the barium on the product side. Observe that there are 2 oxygen on the reactant side, so to balance the chemical equation, we must put a 2 on the oxygen on the reactant side. Next is by looking at the product side, barium has 2 atoms, so we must also put a 2 on the barium on the reactant side. And to check if the chemical equation is balanced, we have to write the elements side by side. Barium has 1, oxygen has 2, hydrogen has 4, and bromine has 2, which is also same on the product side. Now the chemical equation is balanced. Delete any coefficients equal to 1. The final balance equation is
predicting the products of chemical reactions. So first, we have the combination reactions. These are reactions where 2 or more elements or a compound combine to form a single compound. Such reactions are represented by equations of the following form: x plus y equals x and y. The combination of 2 or more elements to form one compound is called a combination reaction. So for the example, we have the 2 elements. We have 4 examples. We have the first hydrogen plus nitrogen, so it produces ammonia. Then magnesium oxide plus carbon dioxide produces magnesium carbonate. So carbon monoxide plus oxygen produces carbon dioxide. And last we have sodium plus chlorine, it produces sodium chloride. So that is an example of combination reaction. So for the next predicting product, we have the decomposition reaction. Chemical decomposition or chemical breakdown is the process or effect of simplifying a single chemical entity into 2 or more fragments. Chemical decomposition is usually regarded and defined as the exact opposite of chemical synthesis. So for example, in decomposition reaction, we have 4 examples. And as I said earlier, decomposition reaction is the process or effect of simplifying a single chemical entity into 2 or more fragments. So we have ferric hydroxide. We break that into 2, so it's ferric oxide, water. Then water, hydrogen plus oxygen. Then silver bromide, so it's gonna be silver and bromine. Then carbonic acid, so that will be carbon dioxide and water. So for the next product, we have the single substitution reaction, a single displacement reaction, also known as single replacement reaction or exchange reaction, is a chemical reaction in which one element is replaced by another in a compound. So we have for a single replacement reaction examples. So potassium plus water yield with potassium hydroxide and hydrogen. Then magnesium and copper nitrate yield to magnesium nitrate and copper. So zinc and hydrochloric acid yield with zinc chloride and hydrogen. Then last we have the chlorine plus calcium iodide yield with calcium chloride and iodine. So next for the product, we have the double substitution reaction. Is a chemical process involving the exchange of bonds between 2 reacting chemical species, which results in the creation of products with similar or identical bonding affiliation. So for example, we have potassium bromide plus silver nitrate, so it's gonna be potassium nitrate and silver bromide. The next we have the sodium sulfate plus strontium chloride. It's gonna be sodium chloride plus strontium sulfate. Then hydrochloric acid plus sodium hydroxide. It's gonna be sodium chloride and water. Next we have the sodium sulfide plus hydrochloric acids. It's gonna be sodium chloride and hydrogen sulfide. So for the last predicting product, we have combustion reaction. It's a high temperature exothermic redox chemical reaction between a fuel and an oxidant, usually atmospheric oxygen, that produces oxidized, often gaseous products in a mixture termed as smoke. So for example, we have methanol plus oxygen produces carbon dioxide and water. Then ethanol and oxygen produces carbon dioxide and water. So propanol plus oxygen produces carbon dioxide and water. Then butanol plus oxygen to carbon dioxide and water. So that is an example of a combustion reaction. And also that's all for the predicting products of chemical reaction.
Stoichiometry. Stoichiometry involves the calculation of quantities of any substances involved in a chemical reaction from the quantities of the other substances. The balance equation gives the ratio of formula units of all the substances in a chemical reaction. It also gives the corresponding ratio of moles of the substances. For example, one reaction of phosphorus with chlorine gas is governed by the equation. Two parts of phosphorus mixed with three parts of chlorine gas will result into two parts of phosphorus trichloride. Ratio of coefficient from the balance chemical equation can be used as conversion factors for solving problems. Example 4.11. Calculate the number of moles of aluminum atoms that will react with 3.18 mole of oxygen molecules to form aluminum oxide. The balance equation is 4 parts of aluminum reacted with 3 parts of oxygen gas will result into 2 parts of aluminum oxide. Solution. Given 3.18 moles of oxygen, we can use the balance equation to get the number of moles of aluminum atoms. To get the answer, we just multiply 3.18 mole of oxygen molecules to 4 moles of aluminum, then divided by 3 moles of oxygen and equals to 4.24 moles of aluminum. Example 4.12. Calculate the number of moles of hydrogen gas that can be produced by reaction of 0.750 mole of hydrochloric acid with calcium metal. Solution. Write first the balanced chemical equation. 1 part of calcium reacted with 2 parts of hydrochloric acid will result into 1 part of calcium chloride and 1 part of hydrogen gas. Given 0.750 moles of hydrochloric acid, we can use the balance equation to get the number of moles of hydrogen gas to be produced. Just like example 4.11, we just multiply 0.750 mole of hydrochloric acid to 1 mole of hydrogen, then divided by 2 moles of hydrochloric acid equals to 0.375 moles of hydrogen. Remember that the quantities involved in mole calculation are the quantities that react, not necessarily the quantities that are present. Example 4.13. A sample of 0.1712 mole of solid potassium chlorate is heated gently for a time, and 0.1146 mole of the compound decomposes. Calculate the number of moles of oxygen gas produced. The balanced chemical equation is 2 parts of potassium chlorate heated will decay into 2 parts of potassium chloride and 3 parts of oxygen gas. Given 0.1146 moles of potassium chlorate, we can use the balanced equation to get the number of moles of oxygen gas to be produced. 0.1146 mole of potassium chlorate times 3 mole of oxygen divided by 2 moles of potassium chlorate is equals to 0.1719 moles of oxygen.
Example 4.15. Electrolysis of concentrated aqueous sodium chloride solution called brine yields aqueous sodium hydroxide, hydrogen gas, and chlorine gas, three important industrial chemicals. Calculate the mass of chlorine that can be produced by electrolysis of 50.0 kg of sodium chloride in concentrated aqueous solution. To get the solution, we must balance first chemical equation. So, tau NaCl plus tau H2O to 2NaOH plus H2 plus Cl2. Given 50.0 kg of sodium chloride, we can use the balance equation to get the mass of chlorine gas that will be produced. So 50.0 kg of NaCl times 1 mole of NaCl over 58.5 kg of NaCl times 1 mole of Cl2 over 2 moles of NaCl times 70.9 kg of Cl2 over 1 mole of Cl2. So the total mass of chlorine is 30.3 kilograms. Example 4.16. Sulfuric acid H2SO4 is the chemical produced in the greatest tonnage worldwide. Calculate the number of metric tons of SO2 gas required to prepare 50.0 metric tons of liquid H2SO4. The balance equation for the overall reaction is tau SO2 plus O2 plus tau H2O2 tau H2SO4. Solution. To produce 50.0 metric tons of liquid sulfuric acid, we will use the balance equation to get the required number of metric tons of sulfur dioxide. So above here is the balance equation. 50.0 tons of H2SO4 times 1 times 10 to the power of 6 grams of H2SO4 over 1 ton of H2SO4 times 1 mole of H2SO4 over 98.1 grams of H2SO4 times 2 moles of SO2 over 2 moles of H2SO4 times 64.1 grams of SO2 over 1 mole of SO2 times 1 ton of SO2 over 1 times 10 to the power of 6 grams of SO2. So the answer is 32.67 tons of SO2. Example 4.17. The industrial processing of copper 1 sulfide to produce copper metal involves roasting, heating the solid ore in the presence of oxygen gas to produce the metal and sulfur dioxide gas. The sulfur dioxide is used to make sulfuric acid. Calculate the mass of copper 1 sulfide needed to produce 70.0 metric tons of copper by roasting. To get the solution, we must balance first the chemical equation. So, Cu tau S plus O2 to 2Cu plus SO2. We can use the balanced chemical equation to solve for the mass of copper 1 sulfide needed to produce 70.0 metric tons of copper. So above here is the balanced chemical equation. 70.0 tons of Cu times 1 times 10 to the power of 6 grams of Cu over 1 ton of Cu times 1 mole of Cu over 63.5 grams of Cu times 1 mole of Cu2S over 2 moles of Cu times 159.06 grams of Cu2S over 1 mole of Cu2S times 1 ton of Cu2S over 1 times 10 to the power of 6 grams of Cu2S. So the answer is 87.67 tons of copper sulfide.
Next is the calculations involving other quantities. The number of moles of individual atoms or ions of a given element within a compound may be also used to determine the number of moles of reactant or product. The density of a substance may be used to determine the mass of a given volume of it, and the mass may be used to determine the number of moles present. For example, calculate the number of moles of solid mercury 1 oxide that can be produced by the reaction of oxygen gas with 25.0 ml of liquid mercury which has a density of 13.6 grams per ml. Also, calculate the number of molecules of oxygen required. So first, write the balanced chemical equation. Let's have a quick review on how to write the chemical formula of mercury 1 oxide first. We go to the periodic table and we look up mercury, and that has an element symbol of Hg. Oxide, we're looking for oxygen, and that's O. So we have a metal mercury here, and then the oxide that's non-metal. So when you have a metal and a non-metal, you have an ionic compound. And you have to think about the charges on the mercury and on the oxygen. We have a little bit of help here because of mercury 1. Mercury is a transition metal in this Roman numeral 1, and that tells us that it's a unique charge in 1 class. Oxygen in the periodic table that has an ionic charge of 2 minus. So this should add up to 0 to give us a net charge of 0, but they don't right now. We can change the subscript though to make that happen, and we can use something called the crisscross method. We can move this to here, and then this one here. We don't write the 1 by convention. Get rid of these charges. And that's it. This is the formula for mercury 1 oxide. So to balance this chemical equation, we have the mercury here with 2 subscript, and then the other one is 1. Therefore, we change this 1 into 2. So to balance this 2. And since we have a 2 here for oxygen, we put 2 here. So we change the moles of mercury into 4. So again, we change this 2 into 4. So we have 4 mercury plus oxygen produced a 2 mercury 1 oxide. To solve this problem, we need to determine first the mass of mercury that reacts with oxygen gas. By using the formula of density and rearranging, we have mass of the mercury equals the density of mercury and the volume of mercury equals 13.6 grams per milliliter times 25.0 milliliter. That equals to 340 grams mercury. We can now solve for the number of moles mercury 1 oxide that reacts with 340 grams of mercury using the balanced chemical equation. So we have 340 grams of mercury, and then 1 mole of mercury, and then the grams of mercury, which is 259 grams, and then we have 2 moles of solid mercury 1 oxide and 4 moles of mercury. Okay, so cancel, and cancel. So natin nabili the number of moles of mercury 1 oxide. Calculate this one. It equals to 0.847 mole of solid mercury 1 oxide. Example 4.20. Calculate the number of molecules of carbon dioxide that can be produced by the complete combustion of 12.5 grams of gaseous butane. In writing for the balanced chemical equation, we must remember that in the complete combustion of hydrocarbons, the products are carbon dioxide or CO2 plus H2O. The balanced chemical equation is written here. So we have 2 moles of butane plus oxygen. The products are CO2 plus H2O. Given 12.5 grams of butane, and by using the balanced chemical equation, we can solve for the number of molecules of carbon dioxide that can be produced. So we have 12.5 grams of butane times 1 mole of butane, and then the grams of butane, which is 58.14. And then we have 8 moles of carbon dioxide, 2 moles of butane, times the Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 molecules of carbon dioxide over 1 mole carbon dioxide. Calculate this. It equals to 5.18 times 10 to the power of 23 molecules carbon dioxide. The number of moles of an element in a mole of a compound can also be used to calculate the number of moles of a compound involved in a reaction. The ratio of a number of moles of an element within a compound to the number of moles of the compound is determined by the compound's chemical formula. Thus, the subscripts of the formula may be used to form conversion factors. For example, the quantities of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in a fertilizer are critical to the fertilizer's function in helping crops grow. Calculate the number of moles of nitrogen atoms in the ammonium phosphate produced by the reaction of excess aqueous ammonia with 227 mole of phosphoric acid. So again, write the balanced chemical equation first. So we already have a balance equation here. We can use the balance equation and the chemical formula of ammonium phosphate to solve for the number of moles of nitrogen atoms produced from 227 moles of phosphoric acid. So we have 220 mole of phosphoric acid, and then 1 mole of ammonium phosphate and 1 mole of phosphoric acid, and then 3 moles of nitrogen and 1 mole of ammonium phosphate. To calculate this, it equals to 681 moles of nitrogen.
Good morning, everyone. I am Julius Tol, and this handout I continue the report of handout number 4, the problems involving limiting quantities.
Problems involving limiting quantities. Problems involving limiting quantities have the quantities of at least two reactants given. The reactant used up first limits the quantities of the products and is referred to as being present in limiting quantity. Any other reactant may be present in an amount that represents a number of moles equal to or greater than is required for the reaction and is said to be present in sufficient or excess quantity. The reaction is said to have gone to completion when the limiting quantity has been used up.
Here's the example. Calculate the number of moles of each product and of the exist reactant when 0.250 mole of phosphor pentachloride and a 1.50 mole of water are allowed to react, yielding H3PO4 and HCl solution. Write first the balanced chemical equation. So phosphoric pentachloride is half 5 plus then ang water, then H3PO4 plus HCl. Here PCl is 5 plus water. Hydrogen sa pikas is 3 plus 5, 8. Therefore, add sa 4 sa water. Then, there's a balance. They are all 8. Then, phosphorus is 1. Then chloride is 5. So they are balanced. First, we need to determine which reactant is limiting by the solving amount of product each reactant produces using the balanced chemical equation. Whichever yields less amount of product is limiting reactant. 0.250 mole of phosphorus pentachloride is equals to 1 mole of phosphorus pentachloride, then 1 mole of H3PO4. Then cancel the mole, then ang meron is mole. Therefore will be 0.250 mole H3PO4. Next is 1.5 mole of H2O by 1 mole of H3PO4 over 4 moles of H2O is equals to 0.375 mole of H3PO4. Therefore, phosphorus pentachloride is the limiting reactant, and the calculations on the amount of product produced should be based on phosphorus pentachloride 0.250 mole PCl5 by 5 moles of HCl over 1 mole PCl5 is equals to 1.5 mole HCl. 1.5 moles come up with 0.250 mole PCl5 times 5 moles, then equals, then divide by 1, then answer is 1.5. Solving for the amount exists of reactant after reaction, we have 0.250 mole PCl5 by 4 moles of H2O over 1 mole is equals to 1.0 mole of H2O. This is the amount that will react with exists reactant of water is equals to 1.5 minus 1.0 mole is equals to 0.5 mole of water.
Theoretical yield and percent yield. When a quantity of product is calculated from a quantity or quantities of reactants, the quantity of the product is called the theoretical yield. When a reaction is run, however, less product than the calculated amount is often obtained. The actual yield is less than the theoretical yield. No reaction can produce more than the theoretical yield. The percent yield is defined as 100% times the ratio of the actual yield to the theoretical yield. The formula of the percent yield is actual yield over theoretical yield times 100%. Here is an example how to get a percent yield. Calculate the percent yield of a reaction if calculations indicated that 7.44 grams of product could be obtained, but only 7.02 grams of product was actually obtained. So using the formula of percent yield, we have percent yield equals actual yield over theoretical yield times 100%. So the actual yield is 7.02 grams, while the theoretical yield is 7.44 grams. So 7.02 grams over 7.44 grams times 100%. So we have 94.35%. Here is another example. Calculate the percent yield if 14.1 grams of solid PCl5 is obtained in a certain experiment in which 10 grams of liquid PCl3 is treated with excess gaseous Cl2. So to get a solution, we must balance the chemical equation. So PCl3 plus Cl2 to PCl5. So the chemical equation is already balanced. Since the problem has already stated that a chlorine gas is in excess, there is no need to solve for the limiting reactant. The limiting reactant is PCl3, and this will be used to solve for the theoretical amount of PCl5 produced. 1 mole of PCl3 equals 137.32 grams, and 1 mole of PCl5 equals 208.22 grams. So 10 grams of PCl3 times 1 mole PCl3 over 137.32 grams PCl3 times 1 mole PCl5 over 1 mole PCl3 times 208.22 grams PCl5 over 1 mole of PCl5. So we have 15.16 grams of PCl5. Using the formula for percent yield, we have percent yield equals actual yield over theoretical yield times 100%. So the actual yield is 14.1 grams and the theoretical yield equals 15.16 grams. So 14.1 grams over 15.16 grams times 100%. So we have 92.99%. Example 4.31. Ozone O3 is produced when O2 molecules are subjected to electrical discharge or the action of cosmic rays in the upper atmosphere. A. Calculate the mass of ozone that could theoretically be produced by conversion of 1.47 grams of O2. So to get the solution of problem A, we must write first the balanced chemical equation of O2 and O3. So their balanced chemical equation is 3O2 to 2O3. Solving for the amount of O3 produced, 1.47 grams O2 times 1 mole O2 over 32 grams of O2 times 2 moles O3 over 3 moles O2 times 48 grams O3 over 1 mole O3. So we have 1.47 grams of O3. So for the problem B, if 0.111 grams of O3 is actually produced, what is the percent yield? So using the formula of percent yield, we have percent yield equals actual yield over theoretical yield times 100%. So we have 0.111 grams over 1.47 grams times 100%. So we have 7.55%.
Okay, let's start with number 1. We can see in our question for number 1, a chunk of sodium reacts violently with water to form hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide solution. Equation 2, 2Na plus 2H2O 2H2 plus 2NaOH. It's now a balanced equation because there are now 2 of sodium on both sides and 2 hydrogen on both sides too, a 4. And 2 oxygen on both sides. Let's move on with number 2. Letter B is destruction of marble statuary by acid rain. Aqueous nitric acid reacts with calcium carbonate to form carbon dioxide water and aqueous calcium nitrate. Let us interpret this. So, for aqueous nitric acid, it will be HNO3. For calcium carbonate is CaCO3. To form carbon dioxide, CO2 plus water, H2O, and aqueous calcium nitrate, CaNO3. Let us balance this equation. It will be 2HNO3 plus CaCO3 to form CO2 plus H2O plus CaNO3. 2. Let's move on with letter C. It is halogen compounds exchanging bonding partners. Phosphorus trifluoride is prepared by the reaction of phosphorus trichloride and hydrogen fluoride. Hydrogen chloride is the other product. The reaction involves gas only. So for phosphorus trifluoride, the chemical symbol will be 5PCl3 plus hydrogen fluoride HF 2 hydrogen 2 phosphorus trichloride phosphorus trifluoride plus hydrogen chloride. We now balance this into PCl3 plus 3 hydrogen fluoride 2 phosphorus trifluoride plus 3 hydrogen fluoride. Now move on to letter D. Explosive decomposition of dynamite, liquid nitroglycerin, which is C3H5 and 2 and 3O9 to form carbon dioxide plus water plus nitrogen plus oxygen. We now balance this to 4C3H5 and 3O9 into 12CO2 plus 10H2O plus 6N2 plus O2. Let's move on to number 2. Let us start with number 2. We will balance the following equation. Following reactions. Cu St S plus O2 to form Cu plus SO2. We will now balance this by add just follow the following steps. Cu S plus 2O2 to form 2Cu plus 2SO2. Let's move on to letter B. Let's just follow the steps and we will arrive to this answer. Remember to balance equations. If they are lacking in one side, you will match it with the other side by adding a number before to multiply it with their numbers, and then if they are still not balanced and until you arrive to answer, you will add in both sides. For example, letter E, oxygen O2 plus manganese oxide, MnO plus O2 form Mn3O4. It is not a balanced equation, so we add 2O2 in those O2s here, so it is 4 oxygen now plus 12 Mn. We have now 12 manganese and plus 12 here, 12 oxygen, to form 4 times 3 equals 12, 12 manganese, and 4 times 4 equals 16. So it is now a balanced equation because numbers on both sides are equal.
So this is just a continuation from the number 2. In balancing equation, you can see that it's not quite seems hard to understand.
Number 4. How many moles of oxygen gas are required for the incomplete combustion 7.80 mole of octane yielding carbon monoxide and water? The equation is already balanced. Let's solve. 7.80 mole of octane times 17 mole of octa-oxygen divided by 2 mole of octane equals 66.3 mole of dioxygen. Number 5. Butane burns in excess oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. Write a balance equation for the reaction. Calculate the number of moles of carbon dioxide in 14.9 gram of carbon dioxide. Calculate the number of moles of butane required to produce the number of moles of carbon dioxide. To balance the equation, add 2 for the butane and add 13 for the oxygen dioxide, and other side add 8 for the carbon dioxide and add 10 for the water. The equation is already balanced. 14.9 gram of carbon dioxide times 1 mole of butane divided by 44 gram of carbon dioxide equals 0.34 mole of carbon dioxide. For the butane, 0.34 mole of carbon dioxide times 2 mole of butane divided by 8 mole of carbon dioxide equals 0.085 mole of butane. Number 6. The compound ammonium phosphate is used as a fertilizer. Calculate the mass of ammonium phosphate that can be produced by reaction of 2.0 metric tons of ammonia with sufficient phosphoric acid. Equation is already balanced. Let's solve. 2 metric tons of ammonia times 1 times 10 is the power of 6 gram of ammonia divided by 1 metric ton of ammonia times 1 mole of ammonia divided by 17 gram of ammonia times 1 mole of ammonium phosphate divided by 3 mole of ammonia times 118.97 gram of ammonium phosphate divided by 1 mole of ammonium phosphate times 1 metric ton of ammonium phosphate divided by 1 times 10 to the power of 6 gram of ammonium phosphate is equals to 5.84 metric tons ammonium phosphate. Number 7. Calculate the number of moles of fluorine atoms in 61.7 ml of dichloromethanide. Density 1.49 gram per ml. To solve the density, M equals PV. P is for the density, and the density is 1.49 gram per ml times the volume 61.7 ml equals 91.93 gram of dichloromethanide. To solve for the fluorine, 91.93 gram of dichloromethanide times 1 mole of dichloromethanide divided by 86.64 gram of dichloromethanide times 1 mole of divided by 2 mole of dichloromethanide equals 0.53 mole of fluorine. Number 8. Calculate the number of oxygen atoms in the chromium-3 oxide prepared by treating chromium-2 oxide with 1.72 gram of oxygen gas. The equation is unbalanced. Add 4 for the chromium-2 oxide and add 2 for the chromium oxide. The equation is already balanced. It's solved. 1.72 gram of oxygen dioxide times 1 mole of oxygen dioxide divided by 32 gram of oxygen dioxide times 4 mole of oxygen divided by 1 mole of oxygen dioxide times 6.02 times 10 is the power of 23 molecules of oxygen divided by 1 mole of oxygen equals 1.29 times 10 raised to the power of 23 molecules.
Number 9. Calculate the number of moles of H2O produced and the number of moles of excess reactant when 0.444 moles of MgOH2 is treated with 6.66 times 10 to the power 23 molecules of HNO3. So, ang ipangutana dani guys is the number of moles of H2O produced and the number of moles of excess reactant. So, first thing we need to do guys para ma-answeran na to is to write the chemical equation and ato na siyang i-balance. So, we have here MgOH2 plus HNO3 produces H2O plus MgNO3 too. Now, if you're wondering, asan to galing guys? Galing to sa different kinds of chemical reactions such as combination, decomposition, single substitution, single na siya guys, and double substitution, and combustion reactions. Now, dapat i-familiarize nyo to guys dahil di mo ka-answer sa problem if wa mo kay baunsan pag-predict. Dili mo ka-balance, dili mo ka-answer. So, dapat jud i-familiarize ninyo guys. Now, since mo naman ni ang chemical equation, ato na siyang i-balance. First thing we need to do is to balance the hydrogen, guys. So on the right side, we have here 1 hydrogen. I mean 2. No. Sorry, my bad. We have 2 hydrogen here on the right side. On the left side, we have 2 plus we have 1 hydrogen here. So, since dili man siya balance, guys, ansa atong buhaton para ma-balance ni? Para ma-balance ning hydrogen, ato na siyang i-multiply by 2. Let's multiply the left side by 2 and ning 1 by 2. So, 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. And dito, 2 times 2 is equals to 4. So, balance na ang ating hydrogen, guys. 4 and 4. So, balance na nga. And, erase na to. Erase. So, eto na siya, guys. 2 hydrogen. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. And 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. So, balance na, guys. Balance ng hydrogen. How about the other elements? So, Mg, we have 1. And we also have 1 Mg here. we have two oxygen here, and we also have two oxygen here, two. Tapos we have NO3. We have 2 multiplied by 3, we have 6 NO3. And dito, we have 2 multiplied by 3, we have 6 NO3. So, balance na guys. Ito na ang ating balance equation. Wait, where's my... Ito na ating balance equation guys. I-resend ko lang to. Yan. This is gonna be our balance equation. So, ang tanong, calculate the number of moles of H2O produced and the number of moles of excess reactant when 0.44 MgOH2 is treated with 6.66 molecules of H2. So, ang first natong himuon is solve for the theoretical yield to identify the limiting and excess reactant. So, itong 6.66 times 10 to the power of 23, i-convert na nato into mole of HNO3 times, suppose mole ratio, so in blank mole ratio sa HNO3 and mole ratio sa H2O. Since kana may gipangadyo lang ha, sa mole ratio sa H2O. So, mole na ang final guys. And ito na siya. Ito. So, 6.66 molecules of H2O, i-convert into mole of HNO3. Tapos, times mole ratio guys. Ito mole ratio. Ito. Mole ratio. So, dito tayo magbabase sa balance equation guys about sa mole ratio. So, 1 mole of HNO3. So, in 2 moles sa HNO3, we have 2 moles HNO3. 2 moles HNO. We have 2 moles HNO3. We have 2 here. Ito na siya guys. Ito. We have 2 moles H2O. Ito guys. 2 moles H2O. 2 moles H2O. So, ang answer na, kung i-solve na nimo, ang answer na is 1.1 mole of H2O. So, i-reason na natin guys. Muna na siya. Next is itong mole of MgOH2. So, itong MgOH2, since mole naman na siya, i-convert na lang natin diretso na into 0.444 mole MgOH2 guys. Di lang maklaro. Convert na nato into siya times mole ratio agad. So, blank mole sa MgOH2. We have blank mole H2O. H2O. Dani siya gikay kani is so pila man ka mole ang MgOH2. So dari ta magtan-aw guys sa balance equation. Since 1 mole raman siya, naman siya imaginary 1 guys. 1 mole sa MgOH. So 1 mole lang to. 1 mole sa MgOH, we have how many moles of H2O? We have 2 moles sa H2O. So, butang tag 2 diri guys. So, muna na ang mole ratio. Muna ang mole ratio sa dani. And kani guys is same na ni siya diri. Same na ni siya diri. Siya diri. Yan. And mana to guys. Inig total ni mo na. Ang kinagamyan nga result mauna ang theoretical yield. Right? Muna ang theoretical yield. Since ang kinagamyan dani is 0.88 mole of H2O, mo ni ang atong theoretical yield. And this should be our limiting reactant. This is our limiting reactant and this is our excess reactant. Eto guys, wala na to guys. Wala na tong silbi guys. Wala na yung silbi. So, always remember guys, ang theoretical yield og excess reactant laging magkasama. So, if ang excess reactant is, di ba, ang excess reactant is yung pinakamaliit. So, yung eto niya, yung nandito niya, yun ang always na excess reactant. Ito ang theoretical yield. Theoretical yield and ito ang excess reactant. Always silang magkasama guys. Always remember that. So since ito man ang ating theoretical yield and ito ang ating excess reactant, etong excess reactant natin, i-convert ni nato into mole sa limiting reactant, HNO3. So, para ma-convert natin siya, eto 0.44 mole of OH2, ito siya, times etong mole ratio guys, again mole ratio. In 1 mole sa MgOH2, itong MgOH2, dito tayo. 1 mole sa MgOH2, meron tayong 2 mole sa HNO3. Ito. 2 mole sa HNO3. So, ayan guys. Delete. And mukam up tag answer og 0.89 mole of HNO3. So, para makaibaw ta sa amount sa excess reactant, etong answer na to, i-minus natin sa kanina etong 1.11. Ito guys, 1.11. Etong result nito. Ito. Ang mole sa HNO3. Ang result dyan guys is equals to, pag isolve nyo yan, ang result dito, 6.66 times 10 to the power of 23 molecules of HNO3. and 6.2 times 10 to the power 3. Ang result dyan guys is 1.11 mole HNO3. So, since ito ang mole ng HNO3 guys, i-minus natin dito sa ating result. Etong 0.89. So, 1.11, again 1.11. Saan nanggaling tong 1.11? Dito. Sa 6.66. Ito lang guys. Wala to. Hindi to kasali. Dito kasali. Ito hindi to kasali. Ito lang dapat guys. Solve nyo. Ito. Ang result dyan, i-minus natin ito. Dito, 0.18. Ang galing to? Dito. So, ang answer dyan is 0.22. And, itong 0.22 guys, ito na ang ating final answer po. Ito na ang excess ng HNO3. Number 10. Calculate the number of moles of unreacted starting material that will be present when 41.2 grams of HCl is treated with 25.0 grams of solid MgHCO3 2. So again guys, first thing we need to do is write the chemical equation and ato na siyang i-balance. So we have here HCl plus MgOH2 produces MgCl2 plus H2CO2. Muna siya ang atong chemical equation. But di pa ni siya balance. So, ato na siya i-balance. Now, first thing we need to do, gusto ko i-balance na is ang Cl. So, on the right side, we have 2Cl. We have 2Cl here. And on the left side, oh, not that one. My bad. We have 2Cl here. And on the left side, we have only 1Cl. So, ang gagawin natin dyan guys is mag-add lang tayo ng 2 sa front ng HCl para mabalance. So, mag-add tayo ng 2 dyan, balance na ang ating Cl. Balance na ang ating Cl. Bigay tayo ng 2. Ito na siya guys, 2HCl. And since we have 2 plus 2. We have 4 hydrogen. Hydrogen again. Let's proceed with the hydrogen guys. Hydrogen. On the left side, we have total of 4 hydrogen. Since this is 2 plus 2 hydrogen, we have 4. And sa left, we have only 2 hydrogen. So what we need to do is multiply 2 by 2 in order to get total of 4. So, balance ng ating equation. So, itong 2 guys, itong 2, ilagay natin dyan sa front ng H2O. So, ito na, H2O. So, balance na siya guys. Ito na ang ating balance equation. Ito na po, ating balance equation. Now, again, ang tanong, calculate the number of moles of unreacted starting material. Starting material, ito. parehas lang to guys, I think, sa previous yung calculate the excess, amount of excess, parang parehas lang ata. So, first thing we need to do is solve for the theoretical yield to identify the limiting and excess reactant. So, parang kanina lang to guys. Yung eto, first gagawin natin is itong 41.2 grams of HCl. I-convert natin into mole sa MgCl. MgCl2. Convert din natin into MgCl2. Tapos ito rin, itong grams of solid MgH2 is convert din natin into mole MgCl. Cl2. So, ito na siya guys. And ito na siya. 41.1 HCl. Now, since grams ang given, pangitaan na to ang grams sa HCl, but ang weight sa HCl, sa mass. So, ang hydrogen, ang mass sa hydrogen is, ito tayo guys. Ang mass sa hydrogen is 1.01 plus ang HCl is, ang chlorine, we have 35.45. We have here 35.45 grams HCl. Eto guys, grams ng chlorine. Eto is grams ng hydrogen. So, if we total that guys, mahimo ng 36.46. So, ito na to guys. 36.46 ito. Total mass ng HCl. So, ito, 1 mole sa HCl. Mayroong 1, isolve na to guys. Total na og 1.13 mole of HCl. Now, itong HCl na to, i-convert pa to natin sa unreacted starting material. So, i-convert natin into MgCl2. So, in 1.33 mole HCl, ito. Continuation niya lang to guys. Continuation. In 1.13 mole of HCl, again, ito is yung mole ratio. Mole ratio in 1 mole of MgCl2. MgCl2 guys. I know. No. Sorry. Ito guys. Ito tayo. In 2 moles sa HCl, itong 2 moles sa HCl, we have 2 here. 2 HCl. Tapos, 1 mole sa MgCl2. So, ito. 1 mole siya guys. May imaginary 1 yan. May imaginary 1. May imaginary 1 siya dito. 1. So, 1 mole sa MgCl. And, ang answer na guys is ito. 0.57 mole of MgCl. Since ito, grams cancel, grams HCl cancel, mole of HCl cancel, mole of HCl, mole of HCl, mole of HCl, and we're left with mole of MgCl2. So, ang total nito guys is 0.57 mole MgCl. Muni ang isa kakuan guys. Ito lang siya. Ito ang answer dito. 41. Ito. Next nating isolve is etong 25.0 grams of solid MgCl3. Ito na siya guys. Ito din siya. Ito, 25.0 solid. Zero solid. Ito ang kanyang atomic mass. Solve nyo guys ang atomic mass nitong MgHCO3 is equals to 146.35 grams of MgHCO3. Ito ang kanyang atomic mass. And in 1 mole sa MgHCO3 is equals to, ito siya guys ang answer, 0.17 mole MgHCO3. Since na-convert naman nato ang grams into mole, next thing we need to do is convert the mole into the mole of mole of what is asked. So, ang gipangutan na dani guys is mole of unreacted starting material. Mole of unreacted materials. Ito. MgHCl2. MgCl2. So, 0.17. Ito, 0.17. Again, mole ratio. In 0.17 mole MgHCO3, 2. So, saan to galing itong 1 mole? Ito, 1 mole of MgHCO3. Ito guys. May imaginary 1 yan guys dito. 1. Ito. Walang, di kasali yan. Ito. May imaginary 1 yan guys. Dyan. And itong 1 mole of MgCl. 1 mole of MgCl. 1 mole of MgCl. Ito guys. May imaginary 1 din siya guys. May imaginary 1. So ito 1 mole of MgCl. So, ito ang kanyang answer guys. 0.17 mole of MgCl. Ito ang kanyang answer. Now, ano na nga yung kanina? Ang maliit na amount, yun ang theoretical yield. So, since 0.17 ang maliit na amount sa kanila, ito ang theoretical. Since etong theoretical, ano na ngayon kanina? Ang theoretical at limiting reactant ay magkaparehas. So, ang ating limiting reactant ay 0.17 mole of MgCO3. Now, if mag-ask mo, bakit hindi 25.0 grams of MgHCO3? Dahil ang answer dyan guys is always nasa mole dapat ang limiting and excess reactant. Always nasa moles yan guys. So, So, invalid tong answer tong 25.1. Ito dapat ang answer. 0.17 mole of... Always convert into moles, guys. So, since we have identified our limiting, itong limiting, i-convert natin into excess, which is HCl. Convert natin into HCl. So, eto na siya. Eto na ang next step, guys. Solve for the number of moles of excess reactant. So, eto na siya, guys. So, 0.17. Ito ang ating again, 0.17. Ito ang ating limiting reactant. So, ito na again, mole ratio. So, in 1 moles mgh. Ito, guys, galing to sa 1 mole mgCl2. Ito. May imaginary 1 yan, guys. So, may 1 din dito. And next, we have 2 mole HCl. We have 2 mole sa HCl. Ito, guys, 2 mole sa HCl. So, ang answer dyan is ito, 0.34 mole of HCl. Since ito makancel, we're left with mole of HCl. So, ito na ang answer, guys. And again, guys, para makita natin ang amount ng excess reactant, ito, yung total, 1.13 mole of HCl, yung total ng ating excess reactant, i-minus natin dito sa result. So, ang formula dyan, guys, is the amount to find the excess reactant is amount of excess reactant, ito ang ating excess reactant, and ito ang limiting. Excess minus the result. Ang result is ito siya, guys. Ang conversion, kinonvert natin ang limiting reactant into mole sa excess reactant. So, ito na siya, guys. 1.13. Ito nga, 1.13. Amount of excess minus ang result, 34. So, ang answer is 0.79 mole excess HCl. Yan ang final answer, guys. Ito ang ating final answer. Number 11. Calculate the percent yield for an experiment in which 29.8 grams of PCl5 was obtained by treatment of 4.50 grams of phosphorus with sufficient Cl2. Now again, guys, first thing we need to do is write the chemical equation and balance it. So, our chemical equation is P plus Cl2 produces PCl5. Now, if you're wondering why PCl5 is on the right side, there is a keyword meaning was obtained, meaning it it should be on the product side, on the left side. I mean right side. So now let's balance it. Since this, sorry. On the left side, we have 2Cl. We have 2Cl here. And on the right side, we have 5Cl. 5Cl. Now, since murag di man sila even, mangita tas ilang least common multiple. So, ang ilang least common multiple is 10 man. 205 is 10. Ato ni siyang mangita tag number sa 5 na if we multiply it by 5 mo come up sa 10. So, ang answer na is 2. Since 2 times 5 is equals to 2. I mean 2 times 5 is equals to 10, I'm sorry. And next, we have 2. Let's multiply it by 5 so that it would come up with 10. So, let's put 5 on the Cl2 and 2 on the PCl5. Now, our Cl should be balanced. The next thing we need to balance is the phosphorus. Since there are 2 phosphorus on the right side, we should also put 2 phosphorus in the left side. So, ito na siya guys, ang balanced equation. Ang balanced equation guys. Next, calculate the theoretical yield. So, since 29.8 grams of PCl was obtained, this is the actual yield. We'll use that later. So for now, huwag mo na yan. And ito ang ating convert into amount of PCl5. Now, why PCl5? Because PCl5 was obtained. Meaning, i-convert na natin itong paano to, i-convert natin to into the PCl5K. Mo man na-obtain guys, obtained from the meaning obtained. Convert na to siya into PCl5. So, let's start with the conversion. And another thing guys, always remember, ang actual yield na ani mga keywords such as obtained, basta obtained gani guys mo na actual yield. And ang other side of number niya, i-convert na nimo into ito, element sa actual yield. Convert na nito element of actual yield. So for example, we have 31.1 grams of hydrogen was obtained, and we have na other nga number nga 3.1, for example, of oxygen. Eto guys, etong mga to always convert it into amount obtained. Equation sa obtained, like hydrogen, ito. Hydrogen man ang obtained, so convert nimo into hydrogen. And since ito, ang na-obtained niya is 29.8 grams of PCl, i-convert din natin into PCl. So, ito siya guys. 4.50 grams of phosphorus. Ito. Now, ang atomic mass ng phosphorus is 31.1 grams of phosphorus and 1 mole of phosphorus. Next is the mole ratio. So, in 2 moles of phosphorus, dito tayo tumingin dito. 2 moles of phosphorus. Ito. 2 moles of phosphorus. We have 2 moles of PCl5. 2 moles of PCl5. And next is pangitata grams sa PCl5. So in 1 mole sa PCl5 there is 208.25 grams of PCl5. And guys, so ang total niyan is ito, 30.23 grams of PCl5. Ito ang theoretical yield. Now, ang pangutana is calculate the percent yield for an experiment. So para makita nato ang answer or percent yield, we have the equation percent yield is equals to actual yield over theoretical yield. So ang atong actual yield is ito, was obtained man, for the word was obtained, so muna'y actual yield. Ito ang ating actual yield, and our theoretical yield is this. Ito. Theoretical yield yan guys. Ito, theoretical yield. Ito. And multiply it by 100%. So, ito na guys. 29.8 ito, grams of PCl, and 30.23 our theoretical yield multiplied by 100%. Ang final answer is this, 98.58%. Yan ang final answer guys. Ganyan lang ka-easy mag-solve ng percent yield. Basta always remember, ug mag-convert mo into percent yield, i-identify ang actual yield. Okay, if di mo ma-identify ang actual yield and mamali gyud ka, mali gyud imong answer. So dapat understand jud ang problem. Understand the problem, analyze. Last, number 12. Calculate the percent yield of a reaction which produced 36.0 grams of C4H8Br2 from 10.0 grams of C4H8 and excess Br. So again guys, meron tayong produced, meaning ito ang ating actual yield. Actual yield. And ito ang ating i-convert into the amount of actual yield. Ito, H4HBr. Ito, yan. Convert natin to into C4H8Br. Ito. And since given naman ang chemical equation and I think balance na ata to, proceed na tayo sa calculation, conversion. So in 10.0 grams of C4H8, 10.0 grams C4H, etong kanyang atomic mass. So ito. The atomic mass of carbon is 12.01. So 12.01 since meron siyang 4 guys, ito, there's 4 over here. We need to multiply it by 4 plus hydrogen. Ang atomic mass ng hydrogen is 1.01. 1.01. Since meron siyang 8 dito guys, i-multiply natin siya by 8. So, ang answer dyan is 48.04 plus 8.08. Ito guys, 0.8. So 231, 1.6, 56.12. Ito na siya guys, 56.12. Ito 56.12. 56.12 grams of C4H8 and 1 mole of C4H8. Convert din natin into the mole ratio guys. Ito 1 mole of C4HBr. So C4HBr, non-imaginary one again. 1 mole of C4HBr and 1 mole of C4H8. We have here C4H8. There's imaginary one here. Yan. Tapos grams. So mole of C4H8Br, convert na natin into grams of C4H8Br2. So pag isolve din natin ang grams taning C4H8Br2 guys, lang pag-isolve din nato ang kuan dani, mukam up ta dani 216.12 grams. So ang answer dana is grams of C4H8, cancel. We're left with grams of C4H8. So ang answer na is ito, 38.51 grams of C4H8Br2. So, pagkatapos nyan guys, ito ang ating, ano to? Ito ang ating theoretical yield. So, pwede nating answeran ang ating problem. So, ang problem again guys is calculate the percent yield. Calculate the percent yield of a reaction. So, actual yield is this. Our actual yield is 36.0 grams of C4H8Br2. And our theoretical yield is this 38.51 grams of C4H8Br. Let me just erase this. Erase. So ito na siya guys, 36.0 grams of C4H8Br. Ito ang ating actual yield. And 38.51 grams of C4H2Br. Ito ang ating theoretical. And ito ang ating actual theoretical. So, multiply by 100%. Ang answer is 93.48. So, ganyan lang ka-easy guys pag-solve nito. And sana may natutunan kayo guys. Yun lang. And yun lang. Salamat.